Hello again, and welcome to A Satanic Perspective. My name is Kane Del Sol. Today I wanted to explore a concept that is integral to my own work, and that is the importance of context in occult study, and the greater importance of decontextualization. You see, as we read and study about the various deities and spirits that we come in contact with, we must always keep in mind the context of which they were written. This holds true even more so for magical systems in esoteric philosophy. You see, there are a great deal of gods or spirits that exist in multiple cultures, at least in some form or fashion. However, what is shown in each culture may not be 100% the same. The different cultures may value or accentuate certain characteristics or stories differently. This is extremely important, not only in understanding the entity itself, but also the means by which to communicate with it. While Semitic and European ideologies have been hopelessly convoluted in time, the spiritual practices of Southern and Central America, Asia, India, and the African religions as well are all very specific in their deities and contexts, sometimes so specific as to be particular to an individual town or family. This is a very old way of going about things, and honestly, much more pure of a method of communication. Because of the specificity of the deities, and the integral nature of their worship to the culture, offenses to their gods can often have drastic consequences. It's very plain to see why many are so secretive and selective about their worship. It is ill-advised for one who is not formally initiated into these systems to haphazardly begin working with these spirits and powers. They are living traditions and should be respected. Learn from the source and not from a third-party book. Experience will be your greatest ally. However, this does open the door for us eclectic and independent occultists to work more in-depth with the spirits of the old world. In this situation, while it is good to understand the context, it is all the more important to remove the context once the practice begins. As I have said before, history is written by the victor. This is very much also the case in regards to religion and philosophy. Records of practices and deities can be corrupted by the political whims of the land's new masters. Thus, to understand who was writing and why is to have a much deeper understanding than simply reading. This is also true for modern occult works as well, since, unfortunately, many will change details to fit a narrative that they are trying to create, oftentimes exclusively to fill their pocketbooks, or their particular places of worship. This is why the most important tool in studying is the ability to trace a story or spirit through cultures. My favorite saying in this regard is that if the earliest known mention of this aspect, practice, or deity is some guy saying, "Some people have said," then that guy likely just made it all up. As a lesson, even personal gnosis and visions should be given sources. Always cite your sources. I don't care if your source is Set came to me in a dream on Thursday, January 13th, and he winked at me and turned me into a child. Cite it. So, as you may imagine, through extensive research, one may sometimes find that the web of cultural bias and corruption via time and retelling is unable to be untangled. This is why decontextualization is important as well. As occultists, we must always seek the truth. Oftentimes that means abandoning the book and the study to get your hands dirty. The best thing that you can do as an occultist is practice. Practice and communion with the gods is key to truly understanding them. Take what can be learned from the book and the word and research, and apply it with your own instincts and intuition. See what works. Follow what brings results, and disregard the rest. Decontextualization allows for us to understand the true nature of a being, even by simply translating their name and approaching them by the meaning of this title, instead of the cultural associations of the title. We remove a great deal of misinformation. Sometimes they may ask you to call them by something else entirely. They may ask you for a specific offering, not listed in any book. Once again, the key is practice. Forging a personal relationship with the spirit instead of hiding behind books. Dig into the dirt and grime with your own two hands and make something. So that's where I stand on the matter. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, leave a comment down below. If you liked this video or any others on my channel, be sure to check out my book. It documents my personal philosophy and esoteric practice in much greater detail than you will ever see here. It'll be available in September through Aeon Sophia Press, but pre-orders are available now until August 24th. I put a lot of hard work into it, so I hope you'll check it out, possibly grab a copy. I'll put a link to the pre-orders in the description below. Until next time, this has been A Satanic Perspective.